Hey YouTube, this is Licious Kid from ClimaxCombo back with another Leaks of the Week. This week we are continuing off with Project Diva F second. It is coming out next Friday, and this week they show a lot of double R's, a lot of level 3s, a lot of interesting cards in general. So if you guys are looking forward to Project Diva, or you're just looking to buy the set, or you're just curious on what the set does, then you can look forward to this video. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. So let's just get right to it. So for Monday's leak, we have the 00 Kaito. He's 500 power. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I believe the set is 116 cards. Yeah, I think I checked. I believe it was 116 last time I checked, which is pretty crazy. I didn't know that until the last video, but damn American site, whatever. Um, but yeah, it's like a 116 card set, which is really cool. But anyways, I'll just get right to it now. 00500R, he is number 91. That's why I just wanted to mention it. But he is 500 front assist, and when he combos with the pants or the gate, the official name for it is gate, but I'm just gonna keep calling it pants because I'm just too used to calling the red one gate and just too used to calling this one pants. So I'm just gonna keep calling this pants. Anyways, when you play the pants, you may pay 1. If you do, choose one of your characters, gets plus 2k power until the end of your opponent's turn. This card also combos with the pants. 106k, it is an R. If you have 5 or more cards in hand, it gets plus 2k power, so it'll be a 106k. Once again, it combos with the pants. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, and you have the pants on play, you may just draw a card. So, not bad, you break even. And once again, the pants. It is a Climax rare, and this is the SR art. That's cool. Anyways, what I think about these cards, I think this Kaito is pretty bad. I don't know. It's just like 500 in front, and it combos with the pants. This pay the fact you have to pay 1, or yeah, it's just because it costs 1 makes it kind of like lackluster. Because I don't think it's really worth the stock to give one of your characters 2k power. It's honestly like whatever. This card is okay though, just because it's a 106k. It's a 106k. Hopefully, ideally, it's a 106k. It should be most of the time, and it does break even if you play the pants. And if you have multiple of these Mikus, then you do plus, because if hopefully that is considering you do reverse a character, because it'll be 107k before assists, considering you play this. So if you have 2 of these Mikus, then you do plus. If you just have 1, you break even. It's okay. The climax combo is okay. You break even. The pants does plus you in the end. If you like pants, maybe if you just really want to run like blue or just like a really climax combo heavy deck, then maybe the pants is maybe, and or if you just like pants, you can just run these. This assist isn't bad per se. It's just, I don't know. I don't really like this. This card is okay, just because it's a 106k, and at least it'll break even or plus you. Ideally, there is Time Machine Miku, but Time Machine Miku can be hit or miss, because if you use Time Machine Miku and they go away and you take a shitload of damage, then there's only so much you can do in the end. But so if you want an alternative to a level 1 climax combo, then and you're running blue, then maybe this can work for you. I don't really like it, but it's not the worst thing ever. I'll just say that. And next up we use this pretty good Luca card. I actually like this card a lot. It's a 001500. It's an R. She has Hand Encore, and she's also a Brainstormer. Pay 1, mill top 4 every climax you hit. Choose one character, gets plus 2k power until the end of the turn. Spammable Brainstorm with Encore is really interesting. Sometimes you just, don't have an attacker. You can just play the Luca, attack, they kill it, you Encore it, and then, you can just Brainstorm, move her to the back. Who knows? Really versatile card, I think. Yeah, just the fact that it has Encore and the Spammable Brainstorm, I think this card is really cool. And, hopefully we see more of these kinds of cards in the future, because I think this card is really cool. But, yeah, that's enough for Monday. Next up, we have Tuesday. It's a double R. It's a red double R. The 3-2 10k. It is Mako. Kind of surprised she got a double R. Or level 3. I don't know. Just kind of surprises me. It's not surprising, but I don't know. It's whatever. Anyways, 3-2 10k double R. I'll just stop talking. Anyways, if you have 3 more music characters, she gets plus 1k, so she is an 11k base. And she's a pretty interesting card. During your turn, when this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may pay 1. If you do, choose an opponent's level 2 or lower center stage character and put it on top of the deck, owner's deck. Pretty generic, but then she also has a third effect, which makes it pretty interesting. so pay 1. During this turn, it gets plus 1k power and the following effect and the following ability. When this card reverses its opponent battle, you may place that character to the top of the owner's deck. So essentially, this card can top deck 2 characters, which is really interesting. So she's already 11k base. This third effect is spammable, so essentially you can make her hit a billion power if you wanted to, because it's not once per turn. It says you can just pay 1, so essentially you can pump her up to like 30k if you wanted to, if you have enough stock, but that's not really worth it. But just tossing it out there, this card can pump itself according to how much stock you have. So, you can pay 1 and pump her up. Let's say she's 11k base. You pump her up twice, she'll be 14k. You will most likely kill something, like let's say you kill a level 3, and then that goes top deck, and then you pay 1, and then you choose one of their level 2 or lower front stage characters, and you send that to top deck. If they're at 3-4, then they pretty much lose if you swing for 2 soul, if they're at 3-5, and then you swing for 2 soul, then they automatically lose the game because you top deck 2 cards. Yeah, so this may go interesting just because you can top deck 2 characters. Doesn't do much for you if your opponent has like a pretty power heavy deck. Like, I guess Nadoha, they're pretty big on level 3 just because their healer is 10-5, and then they got Hayate, that's like 13k, or that's like 12k base, or if you're playing against Shana and Yuji is usually 11k base. 11-5, I think? 11-5 or something. So maybe if your opponent's running like a power heavy deck, this card might not be good, but if your opponent is running like a weak level 3 game, maybe like, what comes to the top of my mind? Maybe Angel Beats. Their level 3s don't hit much high power. And you can just keep top decking them, and then, anti-encore, and you have a potential of doing 2 guaranteed damage to them. So this Mako, interesting card. I think if you want to run this Mako, it should definitely be a 1 of. 2 at max. Definitely not 3. I think 3 is way overkill. I think if you run 3 of these, it's going to hurt you more in the long run. So if you're going to run this Mako, it should be a 2 or 1 of. For me, I would probably just run 1, but for consistency's sake, you can run 2. And it's red, so it's pretty easy to splash into your deck as it is. So yeah, overall this Mako, it can serve as an interesting card, just because of the ability to top deck 2 cards, giving them a pseudo game ender, if you can reverse stuff. But yeah, pretty interesting card. Next up, we have the 0-0 Mako, uncommon. During the start of your climax phase, if you have no other character, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, choose one level lower card, one level 1 or lower character from your waiting room with the name Mako in its name, and put it to the original border of this card. So it's pretty much a level 1. You can pretty much change into a level 1 or lower Mako from your waiting room. I think the most ideal target that pops to my head is the 1-1 that I talked about last week. If I can find that, yep, this one, because it comes with the clock encore, and since it's coming from the where'd it go? No. Damn it. Oh yeah. And since it's played from the waiting room, you don't have to do the rest. You don't have to rest the character. So yeah, I think this is the ideal target for the Mako. Can be a bit inconsistent. Just level 1 changers can be a little inconsistent. But if you're running 4 of these Makos as your level 1 game plan, maybe running 1 or 2 of these level 0 Makos, if you have enough space in your level 0 game, can work out for you, because if you get this Mako off level 0, it can really push you far ahead. It doesn't cost any stock, so you can do this level. If you're going first level 0, you can use this right off the bat because it doesn't cost anything. If you draw into one of these, you mulligan it, you toss it to the waiting room, draw into one of these level 0s, and then you're set for level 0. And probably set for level 1. So yeah, this Mako, interesting card. Best target I think is Mako, this 1-1. But yeah, overall, if you're running the 1-1, maybe running 1 or 2 of these can serve to your benefit. So yeah. Next up, we have this 2-1 Hatsune Miku Orbit. She is an R, 7k. For every other music character you control, she gets plus 500, so before assists, she can hit 2-1, 9k. And she also climax combos with 2k1 here. Speaka, I really like this song, but anyways, when she attacks with the 2k1, you can choose one music character from your waiting room, place it to stock, and then choose one of your music characters that has plus 2/5 power until the end of the turn. It's okay. I think You know, 2K in 2K in the 2K1 department for green, we have Time Machine Miku, which is a pretty good level 1 climax combo. And you'll see later this week that there is another 2K1 climax combo. There's another green 2K1 climax combo in the form of the level 3 Miku. I'll talk about that in a bit. So just because of those two options, I think this 2K1 is outshined by those. Because you get the stock back technically because you 2K1, you get the stock that you use to pay out this. So if this is 2-1 9K, let's say before assist, you 2K1 this, it'll be 11K. You pump it up with her, she'll be 13-5. That's what on offense. That's cool. You can kill one thing guaranteed. Then she'll be back to a 2-1 9K. Hopefully she lives. If not, then you don't really get much out of this Miku. And like I said, there are better 2K1 combos in PDF as it is, especially in green. And you'll see later this week. So unfortunately, I don't think this Miku is very good. Oops. Next up, more double R's. And this time it's Kaito. 3-2, 10K, double R, Kaito, V version 3, I guess. V3. Get out. Anyways, played from hand to stage or via change, you can heal one. So this does have a changer, and it does heal. So I guess now blue decks actually have a healer, making them more viable. Anyways, here's another effect. When this card declares an attack, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one of your music characters. You get plus 3/5 power until the end of your opponent's turn. I'll talk more about it after I go over the changer. 2-1-7-5. He uses an R. This is a pretty interesting changer. So it's a climax phase change. So the generic climax phase change, pay 2, discard a card. If you do, choose one Kaito and Mako original or Kaito V3 from your waiting room and play to the original border of this card. So this card can change into two cards. One of them being the Kaito and Mako original from the first set. This card right here, this card was pretty much accepted as a pretty horrible card just because at level 3 it's a 3-2, 9-5. During your opponent's turn, it's only 11-5, which is pretty weak. And even on offense, it's just far too weak to do anything. And like when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a music character, you can put it to your hand. Not really worth the slot in your deck. This card is I don't think I've ever seen anyone play this card ever in the first booster, but you can change into it now. 9-5 at level 2 is okay, but during your opponent's turn it would be 11-5, and 11-5 during your opponent's turn can be a bit difficult for them to get around. And this card can start plussing you the moment you play, because since it is a climax phase change, you can attack with the Kaito and Mako. The Kaito and Mako will hopefully plus you 1, and then it'll be too hard for your opponent to kill next turn, and then next turn you can start plussing again, and just hopefully can stay around. But still, I don't really like that. I think changing into this card is still bad, just because you have to run multiple of this Kaito and Mako then, and running multiple of these just suck, because like I said, at level 3 this card is pretty bad, and so overall this option I think is pretty bad, just because you have to run multiple of these, and it's still pretty easy for your opponent to kill. So the other option would be this Kaito level 3. Yeah, it heals, making it so that your blue decks are more viable, but honestly, at this point, I think blue is a splash color instead of a main color that you're going to run in PDF. And his second effect is honestly not that great. If you change into him at level 2, I wouldn't really start using this effect, just because after you change, this is essentially 3 stock and minusing 1 card in your hand. And then from there on, paying an extra 1 and discarding another card from your hand for a 3-5 boost. Yeah, you can keep your characters alive, but then at that point, your stock and your hand size will start dwindling, and in the long run, it can really start hurting you, and you might just lose the game just because of you might just lose the game straight up because you just minus yourself too hard in stock and hand size for this Kaito. So in general, I think this Kaito is not very good, just because this card is not very good, and this card is not very good. Yeah, it's cool just because blue is more viable, just because they have a healer. I guess this card can benefit you if you use it like once or twice per duel. Using it more than twice in a duel, I don't really see that happening. But it's here for you if you want to run a blue. At least you got a healer. The second effect can, I guess help you pay out climaxes, help you discard climaxes from your hand before a refresh, and then keep one of your characters alive. But in general, I don't think this card is very good. And honestly, the 3-2 double R Miku that we saw from the first week is 10 times better than this, because it's 11k, you get a stock, and you get to filter your hand. So in general, I think that 3-2 Miku double R plus we saw the first week is a lot better than this. So overall, unfortunately, Kaito still sucks, in my opinion. Next up, we have this Rin 2-1. This is a double R as well. 7-5. Music, of course. When it's played from hand to stage, this gets plus X power until the end of turn, where X is the number of music characters you control by 500. This does include herself, so if you have a full field, if you play her last when you have a full field, she will hit 2-1 10k. She combos with Meltdown. Meltdown is a stock 1 soul. So when you play Meltdown, and this is on the front row, excuse me, you may pay 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 2 or lower characters and send it to the owner's stocks, and during the start of your Encore phase, send this card into memory. This card is okay. This card, it's a 2-1 10k. And, pretty cheap beat stick just because it'll hit 10k power for the turn. Use it to kill maybe an opponent's changer, or just kill an annoying level 2, or just guarantee a kill on anything, really, maybe. So her hitting 2-1 10k is pretty okay just because she's 1 cost. But this climax combo is it's actually okay too, because it's essentially free because you get the 1 stock with the Meltdown, and then you pay out the 1 stock immediately, so essentially you break even, and then you can choose one of your opponent's level 2 or lower characters, send to the owner's stock. The best target for this would be you choosing one of their back row assists, usually maybe a 1k global assist, a level assist, just a level 2 assist would be the best target for this. So, you can disrupt their opponent's field, guarantee kill something, especially if you kill one of their strong assists, then you're pretty much, you can really kill one of their level 2s right after. Kind of sucks that this goes into memory. It can leave open slot against you, because since it goes away during Encore phase, you have an open slot, and taking the 1 extra soul damage might hurt you, but it can also lead you to canceling more, so kind of situational if this third effect is good, if the sending to memory is good. But overall, this Rin is okay if you're running if you want to run like a yellow build, and you don't want to, if you're running a yellow build like without green, and you don't want to run, or you just don't want to run the 3-2 Miku in general, then maybe you can just run this Rin, run a couple Meltdowns, and call it a day. But yeah, in general, I think this Rin is okay. Will it be played in like the competitive builds? I don't see that happening. But if you're running like a yellow build, like a mono Rin Len deck, then maybe this card can fit up your alley. But yeah, that's it for Wednesday. Thursday we have an interesting set of cards. Really? 17 minutes already? Dang. Anyways, 1045. This card is pretty interesting. If there's a marker underneath the card, it gets plus 5k power. So it can be a 1095. How it gets this marker is right here. This Miku is a 1045. It's a common. This is also a common. When this card declares an attack, choose one of your music character, gets plus 1k until the end of the turn. And another effect, when this card is sent from stage to your waiting room, choose one of your Rin Sunflowers, and place this card underneath that card face down to serve as a marker. The Rin card that we are talking about is the first one right here. But there is also another card that goes along with this, is this Rin right here, 105k. When this card attacks, you may pay cost, which is killing off this Miku, which is sending this Miku from field to waiting room. If you do, this card gets plus 3/5 at 1 soul until the end of the turn, so it'll be a 1085 no cost 2 soul beater for the turn. And lastly, there's an event to go with all 3 of these cards. It's a level 1 3 cost event. Pretty much switch your deck for one of each of these cards. Switch your deck for one Ayasaki Ren. Oh, that's Len? I don't even know anymore. It has to be. Anyways, switch your deck for one Len, one Rin, and one Moonlight Butterfly Miku. Show them to your opponent, add it to your hand, and then discard a card. Then shuffle your deck. Let's see. You're at 6 hand. You pay the event. You gain 3. Okay, you do. You plus 1 off this event. However, paying 3 cost at level 1 is a little too heavy. So honestly, first of all, this event I don't think you should be running. It does compress you 3, but still, it's very stock intensive. And honestly, if you want to compress yourself, you could just run Weekender Girl, the 2/2 event from the first set. It only costs 2. You only compress yourself by 2, but you get to search out 2 music characters. A lot more versatile and only costs you 2. So I think Weekender Girl serves as a better purpose in compress or in just better. So first of all, I think this event is pretty bad. What I think about the other 3 though, I think it's pretty interesting. Honestly, if I was running this combo, I probably wouldn't run this last card, just because. So the idea is you have all 3 of these. You attack with the Miku first, pump one of your other characters 1k, then you attack with this Rin second, and then you kill off the Miku, and then she gets plus 3/5 and 1 soul. And then lastly, now that this Miku has died due to this card's effect, this will now be a 1/0/9/5 base, which can be really annoying for your opponent to deal with. So yeah, that is the ideal situation. However, if I was to run this, I wouldn't run this last card. I think this last card is whatever. I would probably just run the first two cards, because the only requirement for this card to get the marker is for this card to die. So you can essentially just play both of these, make this card kill like a level 0, you can run her into something, like run her into a level 1, or just kill something, and then next turn, yeah, just run her into something, and at the end of the turn she'll be going under this Rin as a marker, and then you'll be left with a 1/0/9/5 during your opponent's turn. The 1/0/9/5 is scary, but do keep in mind it is still level 1. So it is still susceptible to level 1 Suiciders. However, in blue, where is it? In blue, don't forget last week, there is this one, the level 1 assist in front and the plus 500 assist. So if you're running this combo, perhaps you want to splash one or two of these Mikus, because that way this will be a level 2 now, and so it'll be a level 2/9/5 for no cost, and your opponent can't suicide into it, and your opponent may have a lot of difficulties just running over this Rin in general, and essentially you really didn't lose much to get a 1/0/9/5. All you really did was crash this Miku into something, and then now it's a 1/0/9/5, and your opponent has to deal with it, and you didn't lose much of anything in the process. So in general, I think this card is interesting. Perhaps it has potential. I wouldn't know. It can seem inconsistent, but if you do get it off, I think it can really push you far ahead. However, like, it is a little slow, and after level 1, both of these cards start losing effectiveness. So in the long run, it might hurt your deck, but if you do get it off, it can, it might be able to push you really far ahead in level 1. I don't know. Who knows? I think the combo is, I think these two cards is cool and has potential, but I don't see it being run, to be honest. I probably wouldn't run it myself, and I don't think other players are going to use it. However, maybe some people will, and maybe it will be good. So maybe we'll just have to see. So that is my verdict on these. Don't run these two potential. And lastly, a lot of interesting cards for Friday. Like always, they show all the cool stuff. First off is this 3/2 double R plus Miku. It is 10k, and yeah. So her first effect is during the turn that this card was played from hand to stage. If this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may pay cost, which is discarding a card. If you do, send that character to the owner clock. It has another effect. It combos with this 2k1, like I said earlier. When you play package, or when you play the 2k1 and this card is in the center stage, you may pay 1. If you do, search your deck for one music character and play to any border on the stage. Thereafter, shuffle your deck, and this card gets plus 1500 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. And once again, 2k1. So, first off, now green has another game ender that's not Tyrant Factory Miku in the form of this other double R plus Miku. Because it is a clock shooter. Yes, the cost is very similar to the Sasami that we saw in Little Busters Refrain. I haven't actually played against any Little Busters deck since Refrain came out. I know Refrain made this set really good. I know that Sasami is really good too. So, I assume that this Miku is going to be no exception. So, yeah, the cost is pretty hand intensive. It doesn't gain 2k like Sasami does, which, it's not as good. But still, it is a clock shooter. Now, you're not dependent on a ClimaxCombo for clock shooting. And yeah, just overall, the clock shoot, I think, is a welcome addition to the set. The 2k1 combo is honestly, it's okay. It's very similar to the Kanade ClimaxCombo that we saw in Angel Beats. However, this one does cost 1. But in exchange, this card gets plus 1500 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it'll be 11/5 base, making it easier for you to kill stuff, because, you know, in the end, this card does have to kill something. And if you 2k1 this, then it'll be a 13-5 before assist. If you have a level assist, it'll be 14-15k, usually enough to kill a level 3. Yeah, usually enough to kill level 3, because most level 3s sit around, what, 11, 5, 12k. 12k before assist. If they have a 3k standard backup, then they're only 15k. If they have a 3-5 backup, then I think this card still kills it, because it'll be 11, 5, 12, 5, 13, 5, 14, 15. Oh no, if they have a 3-5, then you lose. But still, overall, I think the 2k1 does help. But however, just like the Kanade, just like my verdict on the Kanade, just the fact that you don't get their on-play effects make this card a lot less, you know, doesn't make it seem as nice. This card getting the plus 15 is pretty good, I guess, but however, is it really worth your 1 stock? Because after you pay the 1, is it really worth your 1 stock? Probably. Because unlike Angel Beast, Diva doesn't have Global Hand Encore, so they might start losing, I don't know, in hand size. But they do have Weekender Girl, and they do have Megane event, so I don't know. I think the best target for this Miku would probably be the Mako, just because she doesn't have any on-play effects, so this will be 11k. And you know, if this card does reverse a character, then you might be able to win the game right here, because you bring out the Mako, you top deck 2 of your opponent's character, you attack for 2 with this Miku, and then you discard a card and you send something to clock. That's a lot of damage you can do right there. So maybe some interesting game-ending stuff. The 2k1 is not bad. Will people be running it? I don't know. There's a lot of climax combos at level 3 now. There's this 2k1 here. There's Tyrant Factory Miku. Last week we talked about the Rin level 3 climax combo, the one with the wind trigger. So a lot of really good level 3 climax combos now. So will people be running this one over the others? We'll just have to see. But overall, just clock shooting, that in itself makes this Miku pretty good. But it having a climax combo, you know, makes it more interesting. You don't have to run it with the climax combo. You could just run this Miku purely for the clock shoot. And yeah, in general, just a really good card. Definitely double R worthy, or double R plus worthy. But yeah, overall, very good card, and a very welcome addition to Diva. Adds more game enders. Next up, we have this Luca here, which is also a pretty interesting card. It's a 3-2, 10k double R plus. Of course, it's 2 soul. She play for hand to stage, it heals. So right here, red now has a healer, which is pretty good. It also combos with the gate, double lariat. That's interesting. So Diva has 2 gates? No, 3 gates. Yeah, because this set has 2 gates. That's cool, I guess. I don't think Diva's gonna run 8 gates anyways, just because there's a lot of cool climax combos now. But still, yeah, it's there for you. But still, and this is one of the interesting climax combos. So it heals. This ability can only be activated once per turn. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, and you have the climax double lariat on your climax border, you may pay 1. If you do put this card back to stand, this card loses 4 soul and gains the following ability until the end of the turn. When this card declares an attack, you may choose one of your opponent's backstage characters. That character becomes the defending character against this card's front attack. And once again, it is the gate. Pretty interesting card, because if you're going to run gates of some form, perhaps this gate will probably be the best one. And this gate, or it's not the best one, I don't know, I'm not really a Diva player myself, but this gate is definitely viable, because you play the Luca. Jesus. Okay, anyways, sorry about that. You play the gate, you kill something on your opponent's side of the field, there's no level restriction to it, and then you pay 1 and it goes back to stand. It does lose 4 soul, but then you can kill one of your opponent's back row characters. Back row characters are usually very weak. I don't see the back row character surviving this attack at all. So essentially you can pay the gate and you kill one of the back row characters if you can successfully reverse one of your opponent's front row character. And it does lose -4 soul. That way Diva doesn't actually get a double attacker game ender. But you can actually still squeeze some soul out of this card, maybe, because you play the 1k1 soul. It's now a 3 soul base. When it attacks the first time, if you trigger a 1 soul, then she hits 4 soul. And then, she loses the 4 soul, but then she attacks your opponent's back row. If you trigger another soul, then it hits 5 soul, essentially dealing 1 extra damage. Or if you're running double soul triggers, which is totally possible with all the 2k1 combos that Diva has, and Time Machine Miku with this with packaged. If you trigger like a +2 soul trigger, then you will actually deal damage with this combo. It can, it doesn't, it's probably not going to work all the time, but the fact that there is still potential in you dealing damage might be able to, steal a couple games from your opponent just because that 1 or 2 extra damage that you're doing can actually win you the game. I don't think Diva actually has any soul pumping cards, like a soul pumping assist. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'm not a Diva player. So as of right now, I don't think Diva has a card that pumps soul. Okay, well, I guess the Len does. This really stupid card. Lols. But no. But yeah, like I said, just because you do have a chance of actually dealing extra damage with this card, worst case scenario, or in the end you will kill one of the back rows, but at best you might be able to do an extra 1 or 2 damage, which I think is really good and can actually help you steal a couple games from your opponents that you shouldn't have won. So overall, I think this Luca is really good just because it heals, it combos with the gate, and the fact that it can kill your opponent's back row, and the fact that you might be able to deal 1 or 2 extra damage with this Luca is pretty good because it does keep the soul from double attacking. Like in the first attack, if you trigger a +2 soul trigger, a double soul, it'll be 5 soul, and then the next attack is already going to deal 1 damage because the soul carries over on the second attack. So yeah, I think you guys, you guys know what I mean. I've been ranting about this Luca long enough. But in general, I really like this Luca. I think it's really cool. And yeah, that is the leaks of the week for this week. Lots and lots and lots of interesting cards. Lots of really cool level 3s. I think with this, I think Diva's going to be a really cool set. I don't know, the reason I really like Miku, but I didn't really get into Diva because I thought it was a pretty weak on release. I thought it was a pretty weak set, and a little later Time Machine Miku came out, but then that was like the only cool thing in the deck that like drawn me into it. And honestly, like Time Machine Miku is pretty hit or miss because if you 2k1 and then you eat all this damage, then you're in a lot of shit. But now Diva has all these really cool level 3s. They have this level 3, which I think is really cool. They have like, different game enders in the form of Rin, Rin, she burns 1. You have the clock shooter with new double R plus Miku. You have double top decking with Mako. You have back row attacking with Luca. And you still have Tyrant Factory Miku from the first set. So yeah, I think Miku is gonna be a really fun set. I'm really interested to see what people are gonna make with Diva. There is still 1 more week of Diva left. Let's see, double R plus, double R plus, double R plus last week, and I think the Rin was a double R plus. So I believe all the double R pluses have been revealed, but still, these are definitely really cool double R pluses, and we still have 1 more week to go. Still really excited to see what the last week has to offer, but just this week alone has really got me pumped up for Diva, and I'm really interested to see what people do with them. And yeah, and that ends the leaks of this week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Like always, I love reading them, and until next time, guys.